Hey guys, my name's Doug with Infotainment.com. Today we're in the 2014 to 2018 Jeep Cherokee. Now, by popular request, we've had a ton of requests for introducing the 2019 Jeep Cherokee CarPlay, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto system, to be retrofitted from 2014 to 2018. So it's a popular new upgrade, and today I want to show you guys how easy it is to do it using the Infotainment.com kit. Now, before we get started, I do want to talk a little bit about the 2014 to 2018 systems. So they have three different systems. They have an RA2 system, which is just a 5-inch screen. Then they have the RA3, which is an 8.4-inch screen measured diagonally. This happens to be the RA3. And then they also have the RA4, which is an 8.4-inch system with built-in GPS navigation. Now, if you happen to have the 5-inch screen, you can still certainly do this upgrade. You do need a replacement bezel, which is sold on Infotainment.com. But in this particular case, this vehicle already has the 8.4-inch screen, so we will not need to replace this. We can reuse this. So as I mentioned, the installation is very easy, so let's get started. Alright guys, the first step we're going to do here is we're going to replace the media hub. Now these hubs here are custom made here at Infotainment.com for a plug and play installation. We're simply going to remove this hub and we're going to slide this one into place. You have to replace it if you want to use Apple CarPlay. Those of you who have Android devices, for Android Auto to work, you don't necessarily have to replace it, but since this customer here uses an Apple phone, we're going to go ahead and swap these out. Now, I'm going to show you guys just the basics on how to remove this little panel here. Now, sometimes people would request to remove the whole gear shift. I found it a little easier not to have to do that. You can kind of just finagle it a little bit. So I'll show you how to do that now. The first thing we're going to do here is remove this panel back here. Now, you can use a dash pry tool or a regular screwdriver. You just have to get behind it, off to the side or behind it, and just pop it out of place. Just held in with retaining clips. Now that gives us access to be able to pull this surround here out of place. Use the same tool, just get underneath it, just held in with retaining clips, and pop it out of place. Alright, at this point some of you may elect to remove the top of this gear shifter here so you can completely remove this panel. But I found it's just as easy if you put your emergency brake on, your foot on the brake. If you engage it to drive, it actually gives you enough leeway and room here just to gain access to the connectors that are behind here. So you can disconnect the little connector here for the cigarette lighter. And then you're going to have a gray USB connector, a black USB connector, then a gray main power connector. Now that those are disconnected, you'll notice tabs around the circumference of this hub. If you press those tabs in, meanwhile kind of pushing out, the hub will just come right out of place. Alright, now the replacement hub just slides into the exact same location and snaps into place. We can now reinstall those same connectors. I just wanted to let you guys know that the black connector is going to go at the top right next to the main power connector, and the gray will clip in right at the bottom. Now that everything's plugged back in, we could just snap this back into place. Alright, now that we have everything buttoned up and back in its place, the hub is installed. We installed the back plate here. Now what we can do is we can focus on removing the climate controller here to give us access to remove the bezel. So use your same trim stick or you can just kind of muscle it out. This just pops out of place, just held in with retaining clips. You can kind of fold that, set that down. That gives you access to the two 7mm or Phillips head screws. Then this part here just pops out of place. Just held in with retaining clips. Go ahead and disconnect this connector here. This is for the hazard switch. Once you do that, you can have access here to the 4 screws that hold in your radio. Again, Phillips head 7mm. Then we can disconnect all the cables that are plugged into it. This connector here, you're going to press this tab in and upward, and it comes right out of place. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to replace the HVAC module. Now that module is located right here. There's 2 5.5mm screws on the right and 1 5.5mm screw on the left. We're going to remove those 3 screws and disconnect the 2 connectors. All right, now that the 3 screws are removed, we can just unplug it. Press this tab in here, slide the lever over. We could replace it with the one that's included with the kit. So now we're just installing those 3 screws back into position. The reason why we have to replace the HVAC module is to ensure that the AC controls are going to be fully compatible with the new CarPlay system. Alright, now that the HVAC module is installed fully with the 3 screws and the 2 connectors plugged in, we're ready to install the new 8.4-inch screen. So basically all the plugs that you took out of your existing radio will now fit into the new one. So we're going to plug all those in and put it back into place. Alright, now that our 4 screws are in, we can plug our hazard connector into the bezel and then pop it over the screen and reinstall the 2 screws. And then just pop our climate control module back into place. That now completes the installation. Alright guys, we got everything buttoned up and back in its place. The last and final step we need to do for the Jeep Cherokee is we need to align the proxy. That basically means that the radio needs to be configured to the vehicle's body control module. Now there's 2 people that can do that. Your local Jeep dealer can do that, and your local mechanic who has a Tech Authority subscription. So basically all you need to do is put the vehicle in the run position, plug in the Mopar micropod into the OBD2 port, and follow the directions to do a proxy alignment. So we'll do that now. Okay, once you log into either Tech Authority or the Dealer Connect application, if you go down to Guided Diagnostics, go to Proxy Configuration Alignment, go to Continue. You'll notice here the radio is not configured or a mismatch, so we're going to align it. Go to Continue. All right, it's been completed. So all you got to do now is turn the vehicle to the off position, remove the key, close the doors, and wait a few minutes, and you should be good to go. Other thing you can do at this point is just restore the vehicle configuration if it needs it. It says it's already up to date, so you can just close that out. But again, just remove the key and close the doors, lock it if you want to, just give it a couple minutes, let it fully sleep, and that whole process of proxy configuration alignment is complete. All right, guys, we just finished the programming process. We let the vehicle sleep. Now, in some cases, you got to let the vehicle sleep for several hours, actually, before the Jeep logo comes up and the backup camera and everything work. It does take a little bit for it to sync to the BCM after the proxy alignment. But in either case, we are ready to go. So let's fire it up and check it out. So right away, you see the nice big 8-inch screen, 8.4-inch screen. This one is a lot better and higher resolution than the previous model. So right away, it's nice and crisp and clear. You obviously have your AM, FM radio. These do come with HD radio. Now, this is a great time to point out, we do have two of these models available. The UAS system, which does not have nav, and the UAQ system, which has built-in nav. So in this particular case, we went with the UAQ. So you got AM, FM, HD radio, Sirius XM here. It does have the cool little station logos there, which is neat. Within the media section, you have all of your Bluetooth streaming audio, aux, and USB. Your climate works seamless and perfectly. By replacing that HVAC module, your temperature settings stay right on point. The UConnect apps feature here. It does show you hotspot, activate services, send and go, stuff like that. Those are all services you forfeit by going with this system. This uses the Sirius Guardian, whereas the old system used the UConnect Access. I'm talking about the smartphone application where you can start your car or stuff like that. As of right now, it's very hard to do a service retrofit on that. So that is something you'll forfeit if you even used it in the first place. But here's just some of your logos. You can drag and drop those down to your home menu too. As I mentioned, we did install the UAQ system, so it does have embedded navigation. It has the pinch to zoom feature, which is really neat. A dynamic touchscreen here. It has all the traditional features a nav system has, where you can go to an address, recent destination, points of interest, point on a map. You could tell it where you want to go through the voice recognition feature as well. You do need to repair your phone, so just select yes here. Follow the prompts to pair your phone to the new system. Then here in the settings menu, you can come in here and alter and change different settings. One thing I like to point out is within display and theme, you can actually choose from different wallpapers and themes for your Jeep, which is pretty neat. Alright guys, one of the biggest reasons why we're doing this upgrade obviously is for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability. Now let me just show you briefly how the Apple CarPlay works. You're going to take your factory lightning cable and plug it into the newly installed media hub. And you'll plug the other end into your phone. You'll notice the CarPlay icon on your home screen, so press that to activate it.